You can start by standing or sitting, whatever you want. All right. Now, hopefully you've all done something already today. Down just a little bit more. And feel free to grab a chair. Haven't decided if we're going to sit or stand yet for what we're going to do with us, but so feel free to grab a chair. Just roll through some movements first to kind of get us warmed up just a little bit, and then we'll start stretching. Sure, why I could get so much entertainment out of this, but reach up nice and tall, even maybe a little back bend. So from the side, oh wow. Reach it up. And again, at your own pace. Good. Let's bring it down and back. And let's roll those shoulders. Good. And other direction. Let's go forward. And then down and back. Good. Let's put one hand on our hip and reach up. Soft knees. You can do this in the chair. Relaxing both shoulders. Make sure there's space between your neck and that arm that's reaching up. And switch. Reach, reach, reach. Good. All right, going to take our head side to side. One more. Good. And back to center. Now we're going to do ear to your shoulder, making sure your shoulders are down and back. Nice, slow movement. We're going to stretch it after. We're just warming it up first. Good. Back to center. And up. And down. And make sure your shoulders stay down and back. Feel it in your neck. If you raise your chin up toward the ceiling, feel that stretch down the front of your neck. Good. All right. Let's run our fingers. So you can see what I'm doing. Pinky to thumb. And then reverse. Good. We're going to do wrist circles. One direction. And reverse. Other direction. Taking your time. Notice if there's any sticking points where it feels uncomfortable. I feel a lot of stiffness in my forearms. Make sure your shoulders are down and back while you do this. Good. All right. One arm back to front. Just range of motion. Keep your head looking forward. Good. And let's reverse direction with that arm. Forward. Now I have a little soft bend in my knees. Hips are tucked under. Good. And let's go backstroke first this time. and reverse. And one more. Good. All right, we're gonna do standing cat and cow. Feel free if you have a mat down on the floor if you want. We're gonna do a standing, but feel free to go down and do it on the floor. Here we go. And then around. And then neutral or maybe even a little rounded. And scoop those hips under. And maybe look up a little bit toward the upper part of the wall. When you arch that back, reaching those hips back. One more. Good. All right, shoulders down and back, nice and tall. Get those ribs up off those hips. Okay, we're gonna take those hips and rock them a little bit. Nice and easy. Good. Now, if you want, you can bend those knees and do a little circle and support on those thighs if you want. And you come around the back, flat back. Make this circle, whatever your back muscles can handle there. Pull those abs in gently and let's reverse direction. Reaching it around, soft knees, soft hips. One more. Good. Now the next one's not my favorite, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to bend down. You're going to have your knees, hands above your knees, and then you're going to make little circles with your knees. Make it as small or as big as you want. I'm going to make mine pretty small. Good. And then reverse directions. Abs are in. Not really putting any pressure on those thighs, more of a balance help than anything. Good. Bring it up. All right, here we go. Ankle circles. And you could be doing these in the chair, perfectly fine. Wow, that ankle's making a lot of noise. All right, now a little hip circle. So we're what we call closing the gate. Feel free to have that chair for balance. You need to bring it in, grab the wall, whatever you need. All right, here we go. Ankle circles the other way. Or other foot, I should say. And reverse. Good. Bringing it up. Another hip warmer here, opener. And let's switch legs and reverse directions. So now we're opening. Good, last one. And switch. Open that hip. Take your time. Might feel some abs working here too. Good. So now we've done from the top of our head all the way down to our bottom of our body with some nice dynamic warm up and stretching. But now we're going to start with some more actual deep stretching. And again, we're going to start back up at the top and we're going to work our way down. So feel free to sit in your chair. Okay, for most of these, we can do them in the chair just as well as standing. If there's any ones you need to get up for, that's fine too. All right, so we're going to start by reaching one arm out to the side, nice and relaxed. Make sure your chin's back in neutral, soft knees, or you're sitting upright in the chair. And you're going to take your ear over toward that shoulder, keeping the shoulders level. Nice deep breaths. Stretching the side of that neck. Now, some people will put their hand here, and that's perfectly fine. You're not pulling at all. You're just kind of resting your hand on your head to make sure that your ear is going toward your shoulder. But that elbow needs to be out to the side. And that palm's not pulling at all. It's just sitting on the top of my head. Up to you whether you want to do that or not. More importantly, soft knees, tucked hips, and deep breaths. One more. Good. Hand in, head up. Now stand tall. Soft knees if you're standing, other arm out. Make sure your chin is back and take that ear over toward that shoulder. Again, feel free with the elbow out to the side. Put that hand up to you. One of the reasons we do this is that way we don't start leaning. For some reason, anchoring the hand right there keeps you upright. So if you feel like you're slouching or leaning, you put that hand on your head, but you don't have to. Up to you. Good. Bring it back up to center. All right, we're going to do our eye. So nice hands all the way back. Now lots of space between your ears and your arms. So shoulders are down and back. Reaching those hands and then those wrists. So you can see my hands towards the back of the room. You don't have to bend your knees. I'm just squatting down so you can see. Reaching tall, opening up that shoulder, that chest. Make sure your head doesn't jut forward because that's what it's going to want to do. And these couple moves are hard to keep your hands up for a while. So if you get tired, just bring them down. It's perfectly fine. See if you can go any further. Palms back. Like someone's pushing your wrists. Good. All right, here we go. Y. Again, like someone's pushing your wrists back. And just so you can see, try to keep the chin back, reaching back. Now, if you don't have the range of motion on both sides, that's okay. Do what you can. You get tired, just put those arms back down. All right, now you got two options on the next one, okay? So you can do it here and elbows back. Or if you want, you can take it all the way here and then tip those fingertips back. So knees soft, hips tucked under. And again, my hands are facing backwards. Opening up that chest. Good. Bring it in. All right, we're going to take one arm up, one arm over. We did this during the warm-up. Now that we're warm, we're going to hold it though with nice deep breaths. You have another option here. The other option is to grab one wrist and pull it over. So you do which one feels better for you. Just thinking like you're being as tall as you can. So lengthening that spine, reaching up and over. And up. And again, maybe you're here, or abs engaged here. This one has a little less support because you don't have your arm on the side. So if you need more support, arm down. Good. Hands behind your back. Now, if you need to, I don't have my strap handy. There's one over here. If you need to, you can grab something and hold that behind your back. And then that gives your wrists a little bit of a break because your wrists can be straight. And then you're just going to lift up, opening that chest. Soft knees. Breathing. Make sure those shoulders are down and back. Check in with your chin. Make sure you're not jetting it forward. It's going to want to do that on its own. So if it does, now I just compensated and tucked my hips under. So make sure you're nice and relaxed, bent knees. Good. Put that down or entwine your hands. Now we're going to go to the front. This is a really nice stretch. Your upper back. You're going to scoop your belly around, reach. So you're making a big squeeze. Let your head fall down. Reach those palms. Now my palms are facing away from me. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Good. And rated. That one's hard to hold for a while. Now let's roll those shoulders down and back. Now that we've gotten through all that. Okay. So we're gonna take that hip, couple rocks. All right, now, not everybody is going to be able to do the next stretch. And I'll show you what you can do with your chair. So do what you feel comfortable with. Going to take it over into a side lunge. So you can support here. All right, hips back, knee and toe facing the same direction. So if you do that, not so much, we kind of want both toes facing as much forward as you can. All right, so you could be here. You could be here. So hips are still back. I'm still getting the inner thigh stretch. All right. Now, if you want, you can take it all the way down. That's not going to be for everybody. All right. So then you can flip that foot up, flex it toward the ceiling. Same inner thigh stretch. It just depends on where you can get to. All right. So do what you can do. Use that chair to your advantage. Now my knee is out past my toe, but I have my heel up off the floor. So that helps protect my knee. Good. Let's carefully bring it back up. And other side. So whatever you decided to do, you can do the same one on the other side. Maybe you're here. Maybe you have your hands on your chair. Maybe you're here. Or maybe you can slide it all the way out and then flex it and point it up. Up to you. All right. Carefully bring it back up. Now, I'm going to show you what we're going to work on in your chair. Now, you can do it standing. All right. So here's the chair version. Some of you have done this with me in class before. So we're going to, Rick, you're going to do Yes, bend your knee. Yep. Okay. So here, now I'm reaching my hips back and my head forward. And this should be a really good back stretch. You got it, Rick? Yep. All right. So it's a neutral spine, head's in alignment. So the further you go down, the more you'll be looking at the floor, right? I'm trying to speak to you, so I have my head up a little bit. But just relax here, shoulders down and relax. Head going toward the front corner of the room. Hips reaching back. All right. Now, if you're able to, you can bring your knees in a little bit if you need to for some support on your chest. When you bring it down, you can bring both hands down to the feet. So wherever you are, so now maybe Rick's got his knees pretty straight or straighter. In theory. And I just have my hands just sitting on the tops of my feet. And again, I'm reaching my head forward and my hips back. If at any point this gets uncomfortable, come back to here. Okay? Nice big stretch here. Nice big breaths. Good. Now let's take one hand over to one side. Now, if you're still seated, you would just be here. Nice big long body and then a twist. If you're down on the floor, you can put both hands on one foot. Or toward one foot. Good. And let's walk back through middle. And you might find that your back releases enough. You can go a little further. The good thing about this in the chair is now I have my upper body resting on my knee. So I'm still getting the nice stretch, but there's a stopping point that, for instance, Rick isn't getting standing up. Good. Now let's come back to the middle, and maybe you can walk your feet apart and put your hands on the floor. Maybe you can't. That's fine. Wow, I guess I can stretch all day, can't I? Rick just gave you a 5-minute warning. Good. Now let's bring those arms back up. You bend your knees if you're standing. Bend your knees back into that prayer squat. And then everybody roll up. Shoulders down and back. All right. So if you have the mat, Rick, you want to grab the mat? Okay, I'm going to show you the chair version. Rick's going to do a standing, laying down version, or you could do the standing version, but that's a lot more work. So it's a figure 4 stretch. So we're going to sit back. Now, I have my front foot reaching forward, and then I bring my knee, maybe I use my pants, bring my other opposite ankle up above my knee. Rick, lie all the way down. Yep, there you go. He's got it. He's going to put one knee across one ankle, and maybe he's just going to lift the foot up off the floor. Maybe that's all he can do. Or maybe he'll reach through and grab. I don't know what he's going to do. Now, if you're in the chair and that feels okay, you can slide that foot back towards you, sit up really tall. And you should feel a nice stretch through your hips here. That doesn't feel good. Slide that foot back out to release a little bit of that stretch if it's too much. You can also lean back. That'll release it a little bit. Shoulders down, relax. Nice big breath. Really let those muscles release. Good. And let's switch. Reach that foot out. Maybe you just get to here. Maybe you grab your pants. Maybe you grab your ankle. Maybe you leave that foot out, or maybe you slide it in. Make sure it's in alignment with your hip, though, and your knee. Nice and tall. You can lean back if it's too much, or slide the foot back out. Good. Take that foot down. Now, if you're sitting in the chair, I'm going to bring my feet close together. If you're laying on the floor, you have both knees up like Rick does right now, and you're gonna lift up your hips and lift them about an inch to your right. And then drop your knees to the left. And get that nice twist stretch. If you need to support underneath those knees with something, you can. You can put those arms out like a T. And then look at the arms opposite of where the side of your knees went. Now, if you're sitting in the chair, you're going to sit up really tall. And you're going to rotate around, taking your head with you. Nice deep breath. Good. And come back to middle. And if you're on the floor, you're going to recenter your hips. And then you're going to take them about an inch to the other direction and then rock them over the other way. If you're in the chair, just sit up super tall and then rotate. I've got a little counter pressure between my knee and my hand. Relax those shoulders. All right, and back to the middle. Good, and if you're on the floor, put your knees into your chest and give it a nice stretch. Grab behind on your thighs or on your shins, whichever feels comfortable for you. In the chair, we can do it one at a time. You can even put that foot up in the chair if you want, pull it in. Maybe some ankle circles. So I'm doing mine one at a time, sitting in the chair. And reverse direction. Good. Now, if you're seated, just switch that other leg and maybe you just pull it in. Close. You might have to slide a little bit out onto your chair so you can pull that knee in. That's fine. And then do that other ankle if you can. I've got that, get my heel up on the chair, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit. And ankle circles, reversing direction. Good. And then you can bring that foot down. Now there's a couple of more exercises you can do. One of them I really like is to take a towel and you can put it under one foot and then you lift, reach your toe out, squeeze that towel up and then release and you're pulling that towel towards you. It's a great foot exercise. So squeeze, crunch those toes, reach it out, pull it in. Spread those toes, reach, and you can do both feet or one at a time if you're standing or sitting. All right, guys, thank you for joining us for a nice, easy stretch tonight. I hope you have a good rest of the night. I did record this, so I will add it to the video list for anybody who wants to watch it again. And have a great evening.
You too, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.